There's something that's tricking your brain every single day, and you'll never notice it. You have a friend who's been smoking for 20 years. They're totally fine. So you think, maybe smoking isn't that dangerous. But you forgot something. The people who died from smoking, you don't see them anymore. They're gone, and their data, gone with them. And it gets worse. During World War II, the U.S. military got hold of a diagram of a bomber plane. It was covered in bullet holes. Every expert said, reinforce those spots. Then one statistician stood up and said, you've got it completely backwards. The areas with the most bullet holes, they don't need reinforcement. Because planes hit, they're still made it back. The real danger zone, the spots with 0 bullet holes. Because planes hit, they're never returned. They crashed into the sea. Not a single one came back. The room went silent for 5 full seconds. That phenomenon, it's called survivorship bias. You only see what survived. You don't see what disappeared. And it's not just in war. It's in the job you choose, the people you look up to, the life path you're trying to figure out right now. Let me break it down for you. Smoking. You see smokers everywhere. Friends. Co-workers. Most look fine. But in 1996, a statistician proposed a chilling thought experiment. Imagine cigarettes were totally harmless, except every 18,250 packs. One pack contained a bomb. Light that cigarette and it explodes, kills you instantly. If that were real, we'd see explosions every day. Bodies, news reports, horrifying images, and every smoker would think twice. But here's the thing that is happening. We just don't see it. 22.3 million cigarettes are lit every second around the world. Every 4 seconds, someone dies from smoking. But they die quietly. No explosion, no headlone, just a bed in a hospital. And then they vanish from your world. Success versus failure. We overestimate success because it's visible. We underestimate failure because it's gone. Nowhere is that more brutal than in the world of writing. You've heard of Brandon Sanderson, Stephen King, the ones who got movie deals. They're the tip of the iceberg. Behind every famous author, there are 100 writers who published books that barely sold. Behind each of them, 100 more who finished a book but couldn't get a publisher. Behind them, another 100 whose manuscripts never saw the light of day. Do the math. For every famous author you've heard of, there are about 1 million silent failures. You'll never hear their stories. So your brain assumes writing books is a viable path. But that's just your brain failing to see the full picture. The bombers, the classic example. Back to World War II. The U.S. was losing too many bombers. They wanted to add armor, but not everywhere. Too much weight equals harder to fly, shorter range. So they studied the planes that returned and mapped where the bullet holes were. Wings, tail, fuselage. Everyone said, reinforce those spots. Thankfully, a statistician named Abraham Wald saw what they missed. He said, you're looking at the survivors. Planes hit in those areas still came back. That means those areas aren't critical. The critical areas? The ones with no bullet holes. Engines, cockpit, fuel system. Why no holes there? Because planes hit, they're never returned. Looking only at survivors led them to the exact wrong answer. Why our brains fall for this? Let's go back 200,000 years. Back then, humans lived in small tribes, surrounded by giant predators. The brain didn't need accuracy. It needed speed. Someone in the tribe ate a weird berry and died. One data point becomes a hard rule. Berry equals danger. Rustling in the bushes? You don't calculate odds. You just run. And back then, what you saw was reality. Your tribe was your entire universe. If you didn't see it, it basically didn't happen. Then everything changed. Cities, printing presses, radio, TV, and finally, the internet. In just a few centuries, we started consuming more information than we can handle. We're exposed to millions of lives and success stories. But our brains haven't caught up. We still act like we live in a small tribe. Except now, that tribe is the entire planet. Psychologists call this the mismatch hypothesis. We're using ancient survival software, to run a modern world. So what can we do? We can't turn off survivorship bias, but we can correct for it. Ask the question your brain keeps forgetting. What am I not seeing? For every success story, imagine the invisible failures behind it. Don't just study the winner. Study the group. Not, how did this startup win? But, what happens to most startups like this? When you see a founder on social media who raised millions and moved from a garage to a skyscraper, you're seeing the survivor. Behind them, hundreds, no, thousands of failed companies. People who worked just as hard, made all the right moves, and still didn't make it. When you start seeing clearly, you stop thinking copying someone's habits guarantees success. You stop feeling behind just because you're not a genius at 20. You stop pretending there's one universal formula for life. This isn't pessimism. It's realism. Habits don't guarantee outcomes. They just increase the odds.